Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping into another video. My name's Tom and I'm going to be talking about 5 habits that wealthy people have. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So this may seem commonly talked about, common sense, but number 1 is live off less than you make. And in today's society, it's a hard thing to do. Things are expensive. It's very hard. I think the most important thing you can do is, without number 1, keeping a strict budget, which is probably the best way to know if you're living above or below your means, or just knowing this. The more simpler way is to have just a rough idea of what your expenses are and knowing exactly how much you bring in on average every month. So for example, if you make $5,000 a month, you're gonna wanna make sure that you're not spending $6,000 a month, because then you are living above your means. You're putting things on credit cards, you're taking out debt, and you don't want to do that. The goal is to save your money and then live off the rest. So if you're making $5,000 a month, you want to spend below $5,000, preferably not exactly $5,000. At least that way you're not going to be going into debt. That way you have some left over to play with to build wealth and to invest. So that leads me to number 2, and number 2 is save to invest and not just saving to save. There's saving for a rainy day or saving an emergency fund, which is great and all, and I encourage people to have one, and it's a good practice so that you have cash on hand just in case anything goes wrong. But beyond saving for maybe a house or a car or any shorter term savings other than your emergency fund, you're going to want to invest it and not just save it and put it in a bank account, because you're not going to be earning nearly as much interest as you could be if you were invested in the market. I prefer to buy index funds just because they're really stable, or I also have my Roth IRA, which pulls out every month. The only other thing I could see that you could save to invest is a rental property or some sort of business, something that's going to earn you money in the long run, other than the market or other things that I've just spoken about. But you don't want to just let it, park it in a savings account that's going to earn you nothing, because that's cash you could be using to work for you. And that's the goal here. Number 3 is journaling. And I think this is just a good habit overall, not just to build wealth or to get rich or to be better with your finances, but journaling also just helps with having clarity on things in your life and gets a lot of your thoughts out. It's good to do like a regular brain dump where you just jot everything down on paper that's in your head, kind of create some order, and it helps you to feel less overwhelmed. At least it does for me. For people that are trying to build wealth or be better with money, it might make you have better ideas and better clarity of the direction you're going with your career or with your life in general, and help you go more towards success and help you take further action in the ways that you're trying to. Number 4 is scheduling out time. So I'm telling you guys this as much as I'm reminding myself, and I'm trying to do this for myself too, because scheduling out time is going to help you be more productive, because you'll be able to go beyond your to-do list and give yourself time blocks, which allows you to work on one thing at a time. And this is extremely helpful for me, because if you're working with time blocks, your mind's not really all over the place. You set a time block for half an hour and I'm going to do X for 1 hour. You don't do anything else. You don't think about anything else. You just work on that for a half hour rather. Then you can you schedule in a break or take a break after, and then go back and go on to the next thing. Extremely helpful to me, and I know it's a lot of people, especially people who are trying to build wealth and try to manage their time properly, just from things I've read, is that they're doing this type of thing, structuring their time in a very specific way so that they can maximize what they get out of their time. Because if you're not scheduling it, you kind of go all over the place, and I'm guilty of this myself, where I have so many things I want to do in a day. I'm like trying to do all of them kind of at once, and it doesn't really work well, because then you just kind of feel overwhelmed, or you're doing one thing, you're thinking of another, or planning what you're going to do later, and that doesn't work out that great, because you're not like truly doing the one thing super well. When you do and focus on one thing at a time, you tend to give your all to each and every task, and you also are more focused and productive. So this is why I think this is an excellent way to run your time. And lastly, but certainly not least, is networking. And networking is such a great tool to get where you want to go. A lot of times in my life, I have tried to do everything alone because I think I can do it alone. That doesn't always work out. And I think that the people who are the most successful in life build a community, a group of like-minded people that they know and talk to and work with to help them level up and to learn from and can receive knowledge from, so that way they can move to the next level. Because there's always someone who knows or has done at least what you're trying to do, and those are the best people to learn from. And if you can do that, put yourself out there with those type of people, and it doesn't matter what you want to be successful in, it's always like this. You always want to connect to those people you're trying to go that way. They say you're the average of your 5 closest friends. I think it's very true in the way that if you have people that are positive and know more than you, you're going to go in that direction towards that success you're aiming for. And I think that's what a lot of these wealthier people do, is they take lessons from people more knowledgeable than them and they take action. Without networking, you're just kind of doing it alone, and that's great and all. It's always better if you have others helping you. All right, guys, so that is the end of this video. Thank you for staying this long. I appreciate all of you that are here. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.